Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing pack 5 of the Agora models release and build the Ferrari 250 GTO. Now this is a fun old pack to do because for the first 4 stages of this pack we're going to be creating one of the wheels. Now because I've already done that in the last video, I don't want to repeat myself for each video because I'm going to have to make 2 more of these. So what I have done is I put a link up here to the video where I did make that. So if you are confused and you really want to know how these go in, because these are slightly different to all the other spokes that we put in, then you'll be able to watch that on that video. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, it's available for Agora models, and I'll put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen, but without further ado, let's get cracking. So here's all the parts. Now, anything to do with wheels, I'm going to separate. So 31, 33, 32, and 34. I think all of those are to do with wheels. I've already done a wheel, so I'm going to do those off camera, and I'll show you what that looks like at the end. In case you've forgotten what that looks like, that's what a wheel looks like when it's finished. It does take a long while, but that's what it looks like when it's finished. But moving swiftly on to stage 35, we're going to be doing the, God, let's get this right. It's the oil reservoir, filters, and pump. So I'll get all of this open. Okay, and the first thing we want to do is we want to take these 2 parts of the reservoir here. We're just going to be putting this on top of that section, just like that, to make one full unit. I'm going to be holding that into place with a B screw. I have got that here, and that just goes down here. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing the oil pump. So I've got the oil pump base, and I've got a top to put on this, which looks just like this here. So I'm going to get that on. There is a notch that's going to fit into this. So then that fits on flush like that. And then I'm going to be taking this whole thing, and that's going to be going into the bottom of this bracket. There is a locating lug just at the bottom, which is going to align that to where it needs to be, like that. And I'm holding it in with a D screw, which is a flange screw here, and get that screwed in. Excellent. So that's what that's looking like when it's in. Now, I've got these connectors on a sprue here, so I'm going to get these off next. I need my sprue cutters. And one of these connectors has got 2 nipples coming off of it. So let me just grab that. Looks like that. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting, I don't know if I'm going to need glue for this. Let's see how they fit in. I'm going to be putting a pipe in each side. So one in here. Very, very tight. So I'm not going to need to glue this. One in this side. So that's how that's looking. And then I can cut off 2 of these other connectors. And on the thinner side of this, I'm going to be putting one on the end here. So that looks like that. And exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so bringing over what we've done, we're going to be taking these filters here. And I'm going to be putting them into the holes here. Now they want to be this way. So the holes are right near the top of that. Probably best on the top camera. As a matter of fact, let me just zoom that top camera in. And now I'm going to do the same on this one. Perfect. Take what we just created. The cross section is going to go into the pump like that. And then these other 2, get my tweezers to help me, are going to go into the holes at the top of the filters. So one in there and one in there. So when they're in place, that is what that whole thing is looking like. Now I'm going to be mounting this onto the chassis. Now in the instructions, they've kind of skipped ahead a little bit because there's no instruction to tell us how we're mounting this. But if I turn this over, we can see where this is going to go because we've got a lug and a screw. It's going to go into the holes just down the bottom, just here. Get that in, lined up. And I'm going to put that in with a B screw, just through this side. And if we've done that on that side, then it's pretty easy to see where this one's going to go. It's got the same sort of connection. It's going to go on the other side here. So that's going to go in there, just like that. And once again, it's held in with a B screw. And that is all there is to do in stage 35. So stage 36 here, look at this. We've got pipes, lots and lots of piping. So we've got spark plugs lead. Now I'm just checking the width of them. Now these are longer than these. So what I'm going to need is 6 of these short leads first. Let me open these and just keep these separate on my workstation. And I need the left cylinder head. That's looking like that. Got an L on the bag. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to be putting 6 of these along this. We've got 5 along the edge there, 1 on the end there. So that makes 6. It's going to see how these fit in. They are tight, so they're not going to need gluing. Let's put all of these in on this one. And when they're all in, that's how it should look. Now in stage 19, we had some distributor cap connectors looking like this. Let's get them out. And I want to take some of these longer pipe in and put one each side. So that's how that looks. Now, bring over the engine assembly. We haven't seen this for a while, and we're going to be working on this distributor first. 4 nipples here, and that's going to take 4 of the long pipes. So let's get them in place. Then I'm going to take what we just created here. As you see, we've got 2 lugs on here. This side's going to go into the holes just here on the top. Probably best on the top camera. Get them lined up, and I'll push them in. And there we go. That's that rail in place. So, on the engine block here, you can probably see, if I show you on the top camera, we've got some studs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to be sliding all of these onto the lugs. Now, the end one at the moment is going to wrap around and go onto the last nipple there. So let's get all of these in. I'm using tweezers to this. Now, the long leads that we've got coming from the distributor are going to go onto the ends of these here. Now, these are really tiny. So get your magnifying glasses out for this. And you might want to put them in an order that you can actually get them in without tangling them up. So I've tried to keep them all uniform. That's how it looks when they're all in. So that cap connector that we made, I can now put this on top. We were wondering in the last pack when this was going to go in. There we go, that's on top just there. Now you should have 2 lugs spare on this section. That's where these long leads are going to go. And that's stage 36 complete. Now you will notice we do have these left over, but we're not using those yet. What we are going to do is move on to stage 37, which I've got here. Get this open. These are the parts for 37, but I'm going to put them to one side because this is the time that we're going to do exactly what we just did on that last stage. So we want the short leads going into these again. And then just like we've done on that side, we're going to be plugging this one in. Just into the sides here. 1. And 2. Again, connect these pipes to the plugs. So, as you can see, they're in. Then we want to take the long leads and once again slide these onto the distributor on this side. Then we put these along the points that we've got just on the end there. And then all that's left to do again is take the cap and slide 2 leads onto each end of that. Put this on top here and then add these to the last lugs that we've got free. There you go, that one looks a lot tidier than my other one, but there you go, that's done there. So put that to one side, just open what we've got in this pack now. First thing I want to do is take this triangular protective plate that I've just got here. That's going to go into the position just here onto this piece. Get that in. So that's how that looks. I've got this square plate to go in, which is shaped. It's got a D shape on it. It's going to go over this D-shaped lug on this side here. So it can only go in one way, facing outwards like that. And then finally on top of that, I've got a, what is this? Fit the gasket and mount onto the side stud on the timing chest. So it's a stud, I guess, which is just going to go in there like that. So with the engine done and that done, that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 38 here, I've got the timing chest to do. Now in stage 8, we had some of these bolts. Remember I put them on masking tape to get them off easy? We're going to need that now because we're going to be adding some bolts to each of these sections here. So we need 8 of them. Let's get these cut off. Matter of fact, I think I've already cut off some of them, which is handy. And get these in here. Now they are going in very tight, so I'm dropping a bit of oil into the end of these. That'll make sure they go in properly. And when they're in, they should look like that. Do the same on the other side. This is tricky because they do want to ping in all sorts of directions. Excellent. And that's that one done too. So bring over the timing chest now. Looks like this. These are going to go on top. What we want to do, when I push these on, the ones that are closest together here, the bolts, need to be towards the front. The ones that are further apart, towards the back. So these just go on the top like this. We then have these covering discs to put in, which are going to go into the middle of those sections we just put in. So one this side, like that. That's what a covering disc looks like there. We've got one to put in that side there. And then finally, the last piece that we're going to be putting in looks just like this. It can only go in one way. It's going to go this way here. Line up all the lugs. There we go. That fits in just like that. But we're going to be holding that in with a BP screw. BP? Look at me. A B screw. And that just goes through this side. That's going to keep that into place. That's the fan mount there. And that's stage 38 complete. So in stage 39, there's a lot of detail in this pack. I mean, doing the wheels and now doing this timing chest, it's, as you can see, lots of small parts going onto this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to be creating a pulley. So I'm going to be putting these two parts together. As you can see, it is shaped. So when we put this together, this will fit all the way down onto this peg. But it will make, once it's into position, a pulley like that. Excellent. This is going to be going onto the mount, which is here. So it's just a case of pushing that in. That's how that's looking now. I'm going to be screwing that in with a D screw. Now this is a flange screw. It's going in from the other side. Bring over the timing chest. And this has got a little notch in it, which is going to be going onto this section just here. So line up the notch. And that's how that's going to go on. Now we've got this pipe here, which is the water pump pipe. There is a D-shaped pattern on here, so it's going to go in this way. All the way in, so that the gold little connector's pointing towards this pulley. Just put that to one side. We've got a central section of fuel pump to put in now. So we're going to be taking these two parts here, one, and the top section two, and putting these together. Again, it's shaped, so it can only go in one way. We've got a cap to put over the other end, and again, this is shaped. Perfect. And that's just that little piece together there, but that's all there is to do in that stage. So that means the last stage of this pack, which is stage 40, we're going to be building the Dynamo. And just like last time, we are going to be creating a pulley first. So it's a case of putting these two parts together. lining up the notch, then pushing that in, and there we go. It's another pulley created. Put that to one side. Now we're going to be connecting these two parts together now. There is lugs, so now that's looking just like that. So this is basically going to be going into this side here. That's the pulley going in. So that's how that's looking. And then we're just going to be putting that in with one of these E-screws here. So when that's tight, that's how that is looking. Okay, take the dynamo body, which looks like this. And again, we've got a cap to put over the top, which has got a little notch in the bottom. It's not the open end we're putting the cap in, it's actually this top end, like that. So the open end's down there, because in the open ends, that's where we're going to be putting this. Now this does have a notch in it, so I'm matching the notch with the side here. There you go. And that fits nice and flush in there like that. Next thing to do, on this slot here, I've got this bracket to put in. Just pushes into the hole here this way round. So if I just get this in first, there you go. Show you on the top camera. That's how that looks. Bring over the timing case that we've been working on, or chest as they're calling it. I have this bracket to put in. This is just a case of pushing them into the holes here, that way round. That's how that's looking. And with those two parts that we've got here, and this other little part that we haven't done anything with, that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. And there you go. That's it for another pack. Now, you know what I think I'm going to do with these wheels? I think I'm going to save them all up. So in the next pack, I think we're probably going to get one. I wouldn't be surprised if we get one in pack 7 as well. I won't do them because I'll just refer back to that video. And then I can just have a whole session where I'm putting spokes in. Because believe it or not, when you put spokes into these models, it gets easier the more you do it. It doesn't seem that way, but if you are doing the, I don't know, the other Ferrari or the Jaguar, you're going to realize that it does get easier, trust me, the more you practice with it. But that is the build for another day. Now, once again, if you do want to get this for yourself, Agora Models, link in the description and a QR code on the screen. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.